Well, my house will be sold very shortly, and I'll let you know where I am next. It's still going to take a little time because paperwork and lawyers and all that. I find this world very strange. It's so strange. I don't really fit well into the system. Even really the social system. I spend a lot of time alone. Like we've just had Christmas, and I just prefer to spend it alone. It just works for me. I just find the whole situation not difficult, I just can't do it. And that's okay, you know. It's okay to be a bit of an oddball. I've always seemed to be like that. I've accepted it. It's got nothing to do with what I speak about. I think there are people who are just oddballs and don't quite fit in. And so that's why I've been quiet over this period. Sometimes I just go quiet and I don't really want to do much, say much. I just go still, I guess. Watch some sci-fi. Listen to classical music. Potter about, you know. But I feel like this quiet time is important because I think it's going to be all engines firing in a month or so. And I like to take things very slowly. When I have to take action, I take action, but I like things to be slow. So I wanted to talk about that. I did go over to somebody's house for a few hours over the Christmas period. I was invited. I said yes. Okay. And but it was interesting. They were nice people and everything. They were kind. They were normal people in their normal way, where they think they know who you are and what you want, and get offended when you don't fulfill the expectation. But that's the personality, you see. The personality isn't real. It's an external thing. And when there isn't much of an emotional personality, like for me, for instance, I'm not much of an emotional personality. I get annoyed sometimes, you know, or grieve sometimes if somebody dies or something. But I generally don't work off my emotions. In the same way as these people where I had dinner, because they were expecting me to come over. They wanted to pay for me to come over and have a holiday with them in May, which is very nice, but I just don't want to. And there was quite a lot of offence, and it was because I didn't meet their expectations. I think they thought I'm a certain kind of person, and certain kind of persons do certain things, and I didn't meet the expectation, and I didn't have a reason for it. I just don't want to. I do have some reasons, but I couldn't be bothered to talk about them. I just don't want to. That's what it comes down to. So it's interesting how most people project a person into that body when there's no real person there. There's just the being expressing itself. Oh, I shouldn't have come this way, it's really busy. It's just the being expressing itself in whatever way it does, and that changes. It's not fixed. It moves and changes. There are certain elements to a character. I might go this way, because this way is too noisy. There are certain elements to a character. It's like when my When I got my cat, Jean-Luc, I got him when he was a tiny kitten. He was maybe 5 weeks old, abandoned. And his little character is still the same nearly 3 years later, 2.5 years later. His little character. So that character seems to remain in the individual. And it's something which is innate. Something you can't really pinpoint as a set of traits. He just has this character to him. It's his own unique beauty, his own unique light shining from him somehow. He has some personality traits, but they've been developed, and they change as well. You know, he's a bit funny about food. And he's like, yeah, he's got some habits that are quite annoying. But that's not his character. His character is this something else. It's something else. And we all have that. And everybody who has pets knows that. If I put him in a line of 100 cats, I'd know which one he was. Not by the way he looks, just by something in him which is unique to him. So we all have that uniqueness, but we don't have the person. And the person is an amorphous, imaginary thing that doesn't really exist. We just have life as it is. That doesn't mean there's no free will, there is free will, and this and that. Because who's to say if any of that's really true? I just do what I do and don't take any notice of all those sorts of theories. They feel both feel true. Free will and no free will both feel true. So I've given up trying to work them out, and there's no point in doing that. It just drives you crazy, and it drives people crazy. People who talk to me, it drives them crazy. They don't know if they're doing it or something else is doing it. It's just like, just live your life. Just live your life. And don't worry about all that stuff, because it'll never get figured out. Be at peace. And don't worry about free will and no free will. Now the person is, the idea of person is very different from I'm just here being. It's the person, like the body, is something that changes and will inevitably die. As the being has this sense of the eternal, like the character. The character has a sense of something beyond the mind, beyond the idea of what life is. Yeah, which way to go? I'll go this way, the quiet way. So life, there's no point in trying to define it. You can have fun. I have fun looking in, defining life, being philosophical about it. I love all that. But I'm not chasing it as an answer to fix any problems. It's a desire, it's a love, it's a beauty, it's a art. It's enjoyable like music. Pondering the nature of reality. And the trouble with some things like classical non-duality, it's like it makes everything just completely irrelevant and there's no point in pondering anything. Then why not? I mean, come on now. It's a kind of a nihilism. It ends the joy of life and the beauty of life. And many people just end up sitting on their couches wondering what the hell's going on. Well, that's because nihilism has set in. Life is beautiful. This life, so varied, so incredible. I mean, how does it all hold together? Look at it. And science says it's all an accident. Well, this is an accident. If it's an accident, it's a pretty perfect accident. Yeah, it seems like chaos, but it all holds together. Look at it. Why am I not falling through the concrete? Why am I not flying off into the sky? Why is everything just perfectly formed? Look at this moss. Look at that. If it's all an accident, then how is it so perfect? Even when it's perfectly awful. It's perfectly awful. I mean, it has to be perfect, right? These oranges. An orange. What a incredible thing. Birds. It has to be perfect, right? How can it not be? If it wasn't perfect, it wouldn't be. I'm not talking about the human idea of perfection, which is utter nonsense, of course. Perfection itself. Look, here's some graffiti. It has to be perfect because it's there. It doesn't mean I have to like it. Not at all. I don't like graffiti. But it's so perfectly there. It's everything is perfectly here every moment. Look. Somebody loves Emma. Pollo. Means chicken. It's such a strange place, but it's so huge. It's hard to work out all the wars and misery and injustices and all the whole lot of it. It's so impossible to work that out. I often joke with Steve, well, not joke, sometimes I don't joke, that it's all like a game, you know, and we're on hard mode. We're on hard mode in this one. How do we work out how to get to the end of the game of hard mode? But it's only hard mode if you enter into the world. The world is the hard place. Being is not the hard part. It's the world that's the hard part. And if I engage in the world too much, it makes me uneasy. So I stay away from it as much as possible. I like to see what's going on, of course. I don't want to get duped. But I try to stay away from it as much as I can. I like being alone. I like company sometimes. Mainly, I like being alone. So I think that's it, really. That's my Christmas message. And hopefully I'll make some more talks. Life's getting a little bit, you know, I'm on the starting line and the gun's going to go off and I'm going to have to start sprinting fairly soon. So, but I'll try and take some time out to do these little talks. Eventually, when I get settled, maybe I'll start doing lives again. We'll see. I don't make decisions. I just allow everything to flow as it flows, because everything does flow as it flows, so I have to make some decisions, of course. But if I don't have to, I don't. And actually, I don't even make decisions. Just the choice comes along and there's the choice there presented. It's kind of easy, really. I don't really need to do anything. It just comes along. You know, where am I going? I'm going here. What do I want to do? Oh, I'll do that. Don't really have to make decisions. Decisions come from emotions. Emotional discomfort or emotional... something to do with pleasing somebody or something or another. If you don't need to please someone, you don't need to make a decision. I'm not here to please people. And I don't expect people to please me either. So there we go. Just be polite, courteous, you know, give each other space. Allow each other to be whatever we are. Anyway, okay, take care, bye.